Hey trackies, welcome back to another video here on TXD Track Time. Please remember to like the video and also subscribe to the channel. So one of the events that we were looking forward to seeing at the Racers Grand Prix was the men's 400 meters. And rightly so, because Jamaica currently has the world champion in the event, Antonio Watson, that walked away with an epic win in that event at the World Championships in 2023 at Budapest, Hungary. So, of course, Jamaica is completely excited for this young, new emerging talent that we've had. Well, Jamaica's always known about him, you know what I mean? But he definitely broke out on the scene last year for sure and broke out in a major way, winning everything, walking away with the coveted 400-meter title. That is a way to come out. So, clearly, on the back of 2023 and all his amazing exploits, there's so much more expectation from the Jamaican public and, of course, I'm sure himself as it relates to performances on this major Olympic year. So at the Racers Grand Prix, it was scheduled for him, as I said, to turn up in the 400 meters. Now, given how he has been trending so far this season, where he has come out running a 46.75, then from there a 45.61, given the kind of increments that he's been having in the 400 meters, it was thought, at least in my opinion, that here we would definitely see him potentially running his first sub 45 of the season. However, unfortunately, track is during the live stream, because I was live streaming, I did get some information saying that unfortunately, Antonio Watson during warm ups picked up an injury. Now, at the time, it was not indicated, how serious the injury was, but we did find out that, hey, he's injured and he will no longer be competing in the 400 meters. Now, clearly, Antonio Watson must have been hit heavy as well as the Jamaican, public. And of course, we are definitely wishing him all the best and, of course, speedy recovery. But it seems as though nobody realized that we actually did get a glimpse of Antonio Watson on the same evening. So even though he did not run, in the 400-meter race as scheduled, we got a glimpse of him. And we got a glimpse of him in actually the most epic way. And for me, the most heartwarming way as well. Now, do y'all remember the men's 100-meter finals? That epic win with Oblique taking down Noah Lyles. Now, after the racetrack, is everybody was pointing out, a lot of people were pointing out, there was some one-legged man jumping across the line or hopping over the line, right? And it became like, I suppose, like an instant meme, and people were talking about it, right? But for me, I looked at the man and I was like, well, he's not one-legged. Clearly, he's just hopping. So, I moved on with my life. But track is, it was brought to my attention that that person that was hopping across the line was indeed the Antonio Watson, right? So, yes, that was Antonio Watson right there. Now, I'm just going to play a little snippet for y'all to see, but for sure, that was Antonio Watson, hopping across the line. And I'm going to show you if I can find different angles, for you to see that for sure it is indeed him.
Oblique Seville
All right, so Chakis, you saw those little snippets. So yeah, that is indeed Antonio Watson. Now, this was shocking for me because I was like, oh my God, this seems to be the worst case scenario. This injury looks worse than all Jamaica would have wanted it to be, and leading, of course, into the Olympic trials. Now, given, the fact that he was hopping, still doesn't really tell you how serious it is, but it definitely does look bad. I'm assuming that the thought process here was, hey, you can't apply any pressure to the particular leg, which is why you saw him literally hopping, speeding across the line in a hop, to chase after Oblique Seville. But we did see him walking there in after. So it seems as though it's good for him to walk, just not run, right? So maybe, just maybe, it may not be, completely, serious to the point where he's out of the Jamaican trials. I don't know, Chuck, is if this is just wishful thinking from my standpoint to be as healthy as possible as soon as possible so that he can go there and, do what he wants to do on the track, not just from a Jamaican perspective. Clearly, we want our athletes to go out there, and run well, but these athletes themselves, want to go out and perform well and put on a show and win for themselves as well. So for sure, I don't know if this is just me, living in La La Land and hoping for the best. But track is, I'm not gonna lie to you, this definitely did not look good at all. And Antonio Watson, unfortunately, may not be at his best heading into our championships, which is coming at the end of the month, starting on the 27th of June, and that is a critical period for him because in order to get to the Olympic Games, then yes, he has to go. He has to place in 1, 2, 3 to qualify. Now, if it's not that serious though, track is, we may still see him there. And given how our 400-meter men are performing right now, he still has a live shot, even if he's not at his best, to make the team. All he has to do is be in top three, and from there on out, he has further time to get better or to get healthy and then turn up at the Olympic Games. But personally, track is, from a personal level, when I see our athletes injured, I said, and I will continue to say, after 2021, I've changed my stance when I listen to athletes saying, hey, I want to do it for Jamaica. You know what I mean? Jamaica wants to see, us medal. And I'm like, okay, cool. And we're touched. And I brought down crying. I remember that point. But I just remember watching Tajay Gale, as I said, struggle back to this point. I believe he still, has inhibitions when he takes off, right, in the long jump pit. And I definitely don't want to see this for any of our other athletes. So that said, for me, if he's injured to the point where he'll not be able to perform, I'll just personally want the best for him, and the best is just to sit out and get healthy and then come again. And if that means missing the Olympic Games in 2024, then I'm fine with that, as long as the athlete's best interest is put first. And whatever the best interest is, then I'm rolling with that. If the best interest is you're good enough to go out there and run, then sure, I'm with you. If the best interest is, okay, we're gonna have to pull back this year, unfortunately, and then we pick things up next year, then that is what it is, track is, and that's what I'm rolling with as well. But all I can say is, just going off this little snippet, as I said, I actually thought, it was not that bad in the warm up, but it seems as though it was really, really bad considering how he was hopping across the line. Mind you, he was hopping at full speed trying to catch Oblique Seville. He was totally happy for Oblique Seville in that moment. And it was very heartwarming to see, his excitement even going on one leg, to cheer with Oblique Seville about this performance, this personal best, this meeting record, of course, this world lead, taking down Noah Lyles. I'm sure he didn't even think about those things when he was running him down. I think it was just the fact that he won the race. He was so totally excited and he was hopping at full speed, trying to catch Oblique Seville, which is what made it kind of funny when people were saying, who was that person in the background, chasing on apparently one leg. Well, it's our world champion, Antonio Watson. And from there, you can clearly see that things are not so rosy right now when it comes to his health. But track is, we're wishing him speedy recovery. And of course, whatever the decision is going forward as it relates to how to get him back on track the best, if it is, okay, you're going to be good in a few weeks and ready to go at the trials, we're cool with that. If it is, we're sitting out for the rest of the year, then we're also cool with that. Track is, our athletes' best interests have to be taken first and have to be considered first in all things, in my opinion. Right now, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Are you shocked finding out that the person hopping across the line was indeed Antonio Watson? And for those persons that were athletes as well, let me know, how serious do you think this is? Hopping on one leg? For me, it definitely looks serious, but maybe again, he was just told to not, do too much on the foot, so he chose to hop, right? So let me know your thoughts. Like the video, of course, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.